What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome to the channel. We're going over the UNLV versus Boise State Broncos football game. This is tomorrow night. This is the Mountain West Championship. Real quick, let's recap a little bit because Thursday Night Football just ended. That was a wild game. One of the best Thursday Night Football games I have ever seen since they've been doing Thursday Night Football. You know, usually we get these cheap-ass matchups where it's like a weak team that's 2-8 versus 3-7 team this late in the season, but this one was great. Packers versus Lions, both fighting for the NFC North Championship. I think the Lions probably just wrapped it up with this win. Obviously, it's not a done deal yet, but with the way the season's going, the Lions would have to completely collapse to not win the NFC North. But both fighting for playoff seeding, playoff positioning. Great freaking game today. A little recap on the bets. The player props, guys, I did a free pick video on this one. I do most of the big games on this channel, and I'm not going to lie, that shit was whack. I mean, I completely misread those player props. I mean, the data and the analytics were there. Amon-Ra St. Brown had scored every game this year except for the last two. Everything was saying Amon-Ra was finally going to get back into the end zone after being 2 games without, but he didn't. He didn't score at all. Tim Patrick had 2 tutties. He came over to the Lions from the Broncos earlier this season. The Broncos released him. Lions got a gem there. Tim Patrick starting to ball at the perfect time of the year. Then Jaden Reed did not have a freaking catch. 3.5 was his line. We took the over. Last week he had 3 catches. He had 1 target that I can remember. He dropped it. It was a tough catch, but I played receiver in college all the way through. I coach receivers now. I'm considering that a drop. Catch the damn ball. Go get it, Jaden. And then on the other, the last pick was Tim Patrick, over 1.5 receptions. He had 6 in the second half alone. He had 0 catches at halftime. I was thinking, damn, we're not going to hit a single pick here. But Patrick came through, had 6 catches in the second half. We hit 1 of the 3 legs, so not a good slip. I'm not going to lie. I'm always going to be open and honest with you guys. Sometimes the player props I give out just aren't hitting. But on the sports books, we've been crushing it all football season. I send out my sportsbook plays to the VIPs for the most part. Sometimes I do give out free picks on the sports books, and one of those I did give out this week. And real quick, if you guys don't want to listen to this recap, I'll put chapter markers in this video. You can skip ahead and get right into the Boise State UNLV game. I should have told you that earlier, but the free pick I gave out on the sports books was second quarter total over 14.5. If you look at the history of this, I did a lot of diving into this Packers-Lions game. Looking at the history of the 2 teams this season, both of them have been second quarter monsters. All right, the Lions were averaging 14.5 points in the second quarter alone. Packers were averaging 7.8 points in the second quarter alone. Both teams last week, if you add up their second quarter total, obviously they didn't play each other, but in their respective games, added up to 23 points in that second quarter. They've been lighting it up. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're just kind of both teams settled into their groove in that second quarter, but it ended up working for us. They scored 17 points tonight. That one hit. So if you follow on Instagram or TikTok, I did post that video. That was a winner, free pick winner for you guys. Then in the VIPs, we hit a teaser, Lions plus 3.5, and the over on this game at 46.5. That one paid out plus odds for us. And then we also have another teaser. We hit half of that teaser. Second half is still pending. We took the over at 44.5 on the total game, or the total points for the Lions-Packers game. The other one leads us right into this game where we got Boise State money line. Let's get right into Boise State UNLV. Looking at the odds, or the main lines here, guys, you got spread, money line, over, under. If you guys are new to this channel, this is what we do. I go over all these big games, give you the betting info here on these main lines. I'll show you where the money's sitting at the time of recording here, and then I'll give you a few player props that I like at the end of this video. Tail the props if you want. Don't tail them if you don't. Doesn't bother me if you don't. I'm just giving you guys my best insight based on my research so that you don't have to do the research. But player props are harder to hit, in my opinion, than picks against the spread and in the main sports books. Some of you guys are in states that don't allow sports books. So I'll give you a couple books that I like to use throughout this video that you might be able to use for either betting traditional bets against the spread or betting player props. But let's dive in, guys. UNLV's 9-2, Boise State's 10-1. Both teams have had great football seasons this year. This comes down to the Mountain West Championship. Boise State's fighting not only for a playoff bid, but if they win this game, they're going to get a bye. Think about how huge that would be to be a group of 5 school and get a bye in the first round of the playoffs where you don't have to win as many games to make a run at a natty. Is Boise State going to win the national championship? I don't know. None of us know, but I'll tell you what, they have, in my opinion, the Heisman Trophy winner on their football team. That's a different discussion. Everybody's got their own opinion on that, but we'll get into that a little bit later. UNLV is a good football team. I just don't think they have enough to take down Boise State with that run game. Let's look at the spread. Plus 4.5 is what it opened at. Plus 4.5 is where it sits still right now. Odds have not changed. Minus 110 odds both ways. Looking at the money down here, you got 68% of public bets on Boise State to cover minus 4.5. 67% of that money is on Boise State to cover minus 4.5. So a lot of the public is thinking Boise State's not only going to win, but they're going to win by at least 5 points. In my opinion, I agree with that. Just based on watching these two teams play all season, based on football knowledge, not looking at the numbers. I bet based on the numbers where the money is at, where the odds are at, where line movement tells me to bet. I usually don't bet just by my football mind inside of things because sometimes that can be misleading. You can dive deep into film all you want, but even as a football coach, Vegas runs so many different outcomes and calculations that they are closer than anybody out there. That's why those guys get paid the big bucks to set these lines. Anyways, kind of went on a side tangent there. Boise State is getting all the money and the bets on the spread. Same goes for the money line, but let's scroll up here real quick. UNLV opened up at plus 158 odds to win. Now it's at plus 159 odds to win. Boise State opened up at minus 192 odds. Now it's minus 190 odds. So the odds are actually going away from both teams here. UNLV was plus 158. Now they're plus 159. So they got 1 cent less favorite, I guess you could say. And Boise State was minus 192. Now they're at minus 190. They got 2 cents less of a favorite. So both kind of shifted in the same direction here. Boise State did not gain any advantage as far as odds are concerned, and UNLV did not gain any advantage. Typically, the lines will move one way or the other, where one team is getting more of an advantage to win and the other team is not. Both of them are gaining a disadvantage, I guess you could say, on the odds here. Very confusing, very rare to see this happen. Where the money's at, though, 89% of public bets on Boise State, 98% of public money is on Boise State. This is scary. When 98% of money is on one side, that is very freaking scary. But the odds aren't moving a crazy amount here. Now, if we saw minus 192 on Boise, all that money on Boise, and now this was sitting at, say, minus 120, that would be a little bit of a tell. But that's not the case. It's actually moving just slightly, just 2 cents on Boise's side, 1 cent on UNLV's side. So take that for what it's worth. Like I said, I'm just giving you guys the public info, or sorry, the betting info on where the public money is at and bets are at, as well as where the line is moving on this video. I already put out that teaser to my VIPs for tonight's game, as well as tomorrow, this Boise State UNLV. Keep in mind this game is on Friday, so if you're going to put in bets, get them in tomorrow. Right now it's Thursday night at about 10 o'clock. This is not a Saturday game, so get these bets in early. Let's jump into the over-under now. Opened up at 57.5, stayed at 57.5. Odds on the over were minus 112. Odds on the under were minus 108. Odds have stayed the exact same. Line has stayed the exact same. Has not moved at all. The public bets here are kind of split. You got 58% of bets on the under, 54% of money on the over. So you got more bets coming in on the under, more money is going in on the over. So it's kind of flipped there. Usually you have the same, if there's more higher percentage of people taking a side, usually the money is on that same side, but this is different. You got 58% on bets on the under, 54% of money on the over. So bigger bets are coming in on the over, even though there's less bets on the over. You guys always know, watching these videos, public loves the over. They're not taking the over as far as how many bets, but the big bettors are taking the over. The sharps can't really tell what they're doing yet based on this line. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, see where it moves, where that money goes, see if this line budges at all or if these odds change at all. But there's your betting info on the main lines, guys. That's your spread, your money line, your over-under, and there's all the public percentages as far as where the bets are going, where the money's going. Let's jump into the player props. Coming over here, I got Ashton Jeanty pulled up. You might hate me for this. You might love me for this. Ashton Jeanty is having his Heisman moment on Saturday. He's going to win the Heisman based on this game, and this game alone is going to push him over Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is my favorite player in the country. Do not get me wrong. I love watching that kid. He's an absolute dog. Great DB, great wide receiver. Not the best wide receiver, not the best corner. That's why I don't think he should win the Heisman. Snap count is not a stat that should count towards your Heisman odds, or you winning a Heisman. Love the kid. Great human being, great football player. Ashton Jeanty is breaking records this year. He could surpass Barry Sanders. He needs like 330 yards. It's probably not going to happen in this game, but the amount of rushing yards he has, he leads the country in rushing yards. Number 2 in the country in rushing yards is also Ashton Jeanty at rushing yards after contact. So not only does he lead the country in rushing yards, he has more yards after contact than any other player has total yards. That is insane. Ashton Jeanty deserves the Heisman. He's going to have his Heisman moment in this game. Over 176.5 yards. You heard that right. I have been avoiding betting on Ashton Jeanty's player props the entire season this year because his lines have been so ridiculously high, but he's covering them. So I'm done fading him. I mean, I wasn't even fading him. I wasn't even taking him on the under. I'm done ignoring him because I'm scared to bet on him. He's having his Heisman moment this Saturday. I've already said that 3 times. Sorry if it's getting old. Last 5 games, Jeanty's gone over this line. He did have 149 yards against San Diego State. A measly 149 yards. That's how good Ashton Jeanty is. When he has 149 yards, it's a down game for him. 226 last week, 209 the week before, and then 186 against UTS there, and 259 against, I think that was Washington State, that WST right there. Sometimes those Mountain West abbreviations, I don't quite know, as well as the big schools. But nonetheless, look at those freaking games. Over in every single one of them, this line. Playing UNLV, big game, big moment. Playing for his Heisman, playing for a playoff berth, playing for a playoff bye. Ashton Jeanty goes off. Okay, count it, put it on the books. Jeanty over. 176 yards. I don't know if I even said the freaking line. 176.5 yards. Then we're going to go to Maddox Madsen, Ashton Jeanty's quarterback. It's not coming up. Let me refresh this real quick. All right, Maddox Madsen. Oops, I'm back on Ashton Jeanty. Sorry, guys. This is glitching on me right here. There we go. Maddox Madsen, last 10 games here, you could see this is his passing completions. It's 18.5 passing completions. We're going to take the under, and here's why. Last 10 games, 7 of those 10 games, he's been under it. You already heard me say Ashton Jeanty's going to have a huge game. They're going to hand the ball off. I don't care. UNLV can stack the box. Every team has been putting 9, 10-man boxes. Yes, I said that right. He has seen 10-man boxes this season. Every team is putting at least 8 in the box to stop Jeanty, and it doesn't matter. Maddox Madsen doesn't throw the ball that much because he has Jeanty. Just 3 games he's gone over this completion line. We're going to take the under. I think they're going to hand the ball off a lot, and it's going to work for them. They're going to pound the rock. That's how you win football games. Run the damn ball. Yes, I said I'm a receivers coach, but I do believe in running the ball first. Maddox Madsen under 18.5 passing completions. Then, last pick of the day, Jacob DeJesus on the UNLV side, receiving yards. They're going to have to try to compete and keep up one way or another. Looking at his chart, this graph this year, this is his receiving yards. We're going to go over 31.5. That's a very low line for a receiver. I mean, a lot of receivers can get that in one play. I'm not going to say he's going to get that in one play, but he can. Right? Ashton Jeanty can't get 176 yards in one play. This is one that is serviceable in one play. Looking at his graph this year, 7 of his last 10 games, he has gone over this line. He had those 3 down games where he had less than 10 yards receiving, even a -2 here against San Jose State. But for the most part, he's going over this a lot. This is a big one right here. Boise State is 119th in the country in defending the pass. 258 pass yards allowed for Boise State's defense. That tells me Jacob DeJesus could have a big game. He can go well over this. Hopefully he has another 80-yard game right like this. Makes it real easy for us. I hope he covers this in the first half so we don't have to sweat it out. And then hopefully Jeanty can cover his line in the third quarter so we don't have to sweat that out. The only one we're going to have to sweat out is Maddox Madsen on the passing completions because we took the under. So we're going to have to watch him the whole game to make sure he stays under. That's all I got for you guys. There it is. There's your picks. There's your main betting info. Maddox Madsen, under 18.5 pass completions. Jacob DeJesus, over 31.5 receiving yards. Ashton Jeanty, over 176.5 rushing yards. I told you guys I give you a couple sports books you can use and look into. If you live in any state except for Idaho, Michigan, and I'm drawing a blank on the last one. I apologize. Idaho, Michigan, and one other. You can use REBET. It's legal in 47 different states right now. So look it up if you can use it. A lot of people have been really upset since sports betting was legalized across the country in a lot of states. Basically, they said it's state by state. Each state has the right to decide whether or not they want to legalize sports betting. And if you're still not legalized, look into REBET because it is legal in 47 states, and it is a traditional sports book as well as player prop app. You can put in props. They have a thing called Prop City on their app. Go do your player props there as well. But it has main betting lines, and you can probably use it. I'll leave a link in the description down below. You can get a deposit match up to $100. Click that link. Use promo code AROD. You'll get that deposit match. But there's a sports book for you guys to use that you probably didn't know about. It's a new sports book, and it's legal in 47 states, like I said before. And then for these player props, I'm actually going to put them in on Dabble. You guys know I've been crushing the sleeper app, but Dabble has these lines with a better payout, specifically on these three picks that I'm putting in. I try to look around on all the different player prop apps to find the best lines, best payouts for us. And if one app that I've been hammering doesn't have it, I'm not just going to stick on that app because I like it and I've been using it a lot. Dabble has the better payout here, so I'm using Dabble. If you're in a daily fantasy sports state where they allow that but not sports books, check out Dabble. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. Code SSWIN gets you $25 free. They just give it to you when you use code SSWIN when you sign up. $25 free. You could use it how you will. You could play it on this slip if you want. This slip's a 6x payout, so 25 times 6 was at $150. You're gonna win. Take that. If you win this slip, then you have all that free money to play with. That's all I got for you guys. Just wanted to give you guys those sports books like I told you guys I would at the beginning of the video. If you like my stuff, as always, hit that subscribe button, guys. Join in on our sports betting family. I do have VIP picks and free picks I give out all the time in my every single day, actually. In my description down here, I'm going to leave a link to that. If you're interested in tailing my picks, the free gets all my free picks sent straight to your phone. The VIP picks there, that gets you every single pick that I put out. Literally every single pick, whether it's a sportsbook play or a player prop daily fantasy sports app. Code SCRIPT gets you 3 free days on that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much. Let's have a good weekend, conference championship weekend. It started out really fun with the Packers and Lions. Let's have a good weekend. I'll see y'all next time.